Getting cheap tree removal quotes solved. In this very quick episode, we're going to be having a look at how you can save a ton of money when getting your trees removed. So let's get into it. So the first one is granting better access. The location of the tree on your property will affect price. So anything in the backyard is always going to be worse, but you can cancel that out by creating better access to the tree. An example, in this image I've got here, we've got a tree in a front yard and we've got the same, almost an identical tree in the backyard. Now the one in the front yard is probably going to cost half as much than the one in the backyard, purely because the tree service can get the equipment right up to the tree. It's going to be a lot easier and quicker for them to remove the tree. The one on the right or in the backyard, although it is the same size, it's going to take quite a bit of manpower to not only dismantle it, but drag it piece by piece out the front and load it into the truck. So you can see on the left we've got bad access, we've just got a small gate, and on the right we've got a very large driveway, which is better access, just for an example. Next up, winter is always cheaper. So because there is a lot less tree work happening in winter, it's just people aren't out in their gardens, they're not looking after things out there, so they're just not asking for trees to be pruned or removed. So the business does fluctuate summer to winter. So small businesses, they move their prices up and down depending on how much work they have on. If someone's got a lot of work booked in, say for the next month, then they're more likely to start charging higher prices just to slow the work down. They've obviously got too much. On the other hand, if they've only got a couple of days in advance booked, they're a lot more likely to charge cheaper prices. I can tell you this from experience. I ran a small tree business and that's how everyone operates. So if you can get them in winter, there's the same amount of competition, the same amount of tree services, but a lot less work going around, and generally you'll pay 20 to 30% cheaper straight off the bat. Now, room to work is very similar to access. Basically, we've all come across backyards like this where it's just an absolute minefield of things in the way. There's going to be cases where you're not going to be able to help it. You're going to have a tree that's overhanging your house. You can't exactly move the house. So in those cases, there's not a lot you can do. But in cases in this image here, if you're just listening and you can't see, we've got a table and chairs and statues and pot plants and all this around the base of the tree. Even around the base of the tree in the garden, there's lots of ornamental plants. So if you can move those plants just for the day while the tree's coming round, it means the guys can work more freely, they can get the tree down quicker, get it out quicker, and it's going to cost you a lot less money. So it's important that you show either everything moved or indicate everything's going to be totally clear during the quoting process. Once they've given you the price and you agree, they've given you the price. So you need to do this during the quoting process. Next one is free waste removal. Depending on the job, this is a lot more important when you're removing palm trees. Palm trees, unlike other trees, cannot be put through a big mulching machine and spread on the garden. They're very acidic and they're just useless. They're completely useless. They can't be recycled, so they need to be dumped with general waste. Now, depending on where you live, it is quite expensive to dump general waste. So you're best either waiting for your local city or council cleanup. Most cities and councils allow you to put rubbish out on the sidewalk for the council to come and clean up, or you can just put it in your green waste bin over time. 50% of the price of palm removal is based on the cost of dumping and just the time taken to go and dump it. So if you get two prices, one to just take the palm trees down and cut them up, and another one to haul everything away, you'll find there is a big difference in price, and you can literally save yourselves hundreds of dollars, generally 50% off the price of tree removal. So the next one is fire sale, selling the firewood. Now this one is fantastic if you have a tree, well, any tree anywhere really, but it's even better if you've got a large tree in your backyard, preferably not obviously a palm tree because you can't burn the firewood. But so a tree in a backyard with poor access is going to cost a lot of money to haul it out piece by piece. But if you just ask the tree services to cut it down and take away all the branches, all the brush, and leave the logs, cut them up into 1 foot long sort of firewood logs that need to be split, and tell them to leave them on site, you're going to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars off the price of the tree removal. Plus, all you need to do is take a photo, put it on eBay or Gumtree for firewood, and people will literally come and pay you to take it away. So not only are you saving money on the removal of the tree, but you're also saving or making money on the waste product. And the last one is hire a gardener. So obviously you have an arborist, which is a tree specialist, and you have a lawn mowing, garden maintenance type crew. Now, anything taller than 15 feet or a one-story house, or anything that basically will need to be climbed to be worked on, you will need to get an arborist in to do the job. But there are lots of very small pruning and removal jobs that can be done by a local gardener, and they're going to charge you far less. Now, the reason is an arborist they've done a lot of study. They've got quite a lot of overheads with insurance, equipment, crew, that type thing. They've got a huge truck and chipper, they've got all the climbing gear, that type of thing. So it just costs them a lot more money to operate, so it costs them a lot more money by hour to do work. Whereas if you've got a lawn mowing garden maintenance crew, they don't have the overheads, and they're simply going to charge you a lot less. But again, make sure it's smaller than 5 meters or 15 feet. And that's it for this video. If you do have any questions, please feel free to add a comment below, and I'll get back to each of you personally. Best of luck with your tree job. This is Ben.